Hello, this is a message from 2066. This is you. This is me. Similar, right? Well, this is your world. And this is mine. Very different. Systems are shutting down. Society has reached gridlock.
Layer 1, please help us save 2066. My today, your future.
Multiverse Arcade is essentially a mechanism to capture and amplify young people's voices. The inspiration came from a friend of mine who happens to be a teacher at Eton College. And I went down there and another friend of mine said to me, "Do you know what they ask young people at Eton?" I said, "No, I don't." And he said, they ask them, "What are you going to do when you're in charge?" I actually don't have a problem that they ask that question. What I have a problem with is not all young people are asked, "What are you going to do when you're in charge?" They're asked things like, if you work hard, maybe you might. And I was interested in making something that talked much more clearly to young people about the fact that them being in charge isn't something that might happen, it's something that will happen. And therefore, what are the changes they want to see in the world around them, and what are the changes they want to be part of making? We began the process of making Multiverse Arcade by working with two groups of young people. So a big part of the process was about talking to the young people, not just about their ideas, about how they felt about the future, how they felt about their future power or influence and the kind of issues they were interested in, but also about what form might be most effective to engage other young people. And it really felt like we wanted to create this immersive space. I remember Lucy, who's part of the group at Excelsior, talking about making this space an arcade of many voices, the Multiverse Arcade. And I ended up feeling like actually it's more important for Multiverse Arcade to house the capacity for young people to come and think about different issues, but also to talk about different issues. So for that reason, we ended up making a mission that set out the sense that 2066 was in trouble, but not being really specific about what the issues were, because we kind of wanted to let young people think, well, actually, this is the issue that I think is going to become the big thing we're going to need to think about.
War is just a cry for help, and nobody sees it. Innocence is washed away, and lives are taken.
Women are always vital, but never fully recognised.
The education system needs to change. It needs to respond to our energy rather than drugging us.
The way it works for an audience member is there is a booth, you put your hands into the booth and it plays a video message from the future onto your hands. And the message is from 2066 and it suggests the world is in trouble, and the world is in trouble because we just kept listening to the same people over and over again and making the same mistakes over and over again. So it invites young people to add their voice to the Multiverse Arcade, an arcade of many voices. And by doing so, if these voices are amplified, perhaps we can save 2066. And once inside that space, they can enter a booth and put their hands into the booth. And this time, rather than triggering a video, it triggers record, and they can leave their voice saying the change that they think needs to happen to save the future.
The changes needed to save our future are banning guns, making more reserves for animals, and have tougher penalties.
We need less selfish people, that everyone accept each other how they are and look for the future and think about the next generation.
We need to stop pollution because that's what's causing our world to blow. And when our world blows, we will be no more.
It's been amazing. It's been really amazing for us. We had probably 4 times as many audiences through as we imagined we would. We got over 16,000 people through over the summer, and 4,408 people added their voice to the arcade. All of our work usually invites its audiences to make some kind of contribution that then kind of shapes what everybody experiences together. We're planning to tour Multiverse Arcade from next year, and one of the things I'm really interested in finding out is whether the issues that were talked about this summer are the same issues that get talked about in a different place with a different group of young people in a different context as it was this year. I think Multiverse Arcade and projects like Multiverse Arcade are needed because I think it's important to empower young people. I think it's a really tough and uncertain time that they're becoming adult into, and I think the more we can equip them with an ability to feel like their thoughtfulness is valued and their thoughtfulness will be listened to, the more we can do that, I think the better able they're going to be to help us navigate what's coming. The more we make space for different groups to talk about those big things that they care about, the more we recognise points of connection. And I think that's one of the big motivations of Unfolding Theatre, really, is to bring people together, and to bring interesting combinations of people together, to be heard, because I don't think division is any way forward, really.